Clint Eastwood Jr. is 94 years old as of this video. And while the veteran actor may have left his prime in the past, he's still got a car collection that is highly sought after today. The American actor and film director rose to fame thanks to internationally acclaimed movies like Sergio Leone's Man with No Name and similar TV series like Rawhide. He's been pretty awesome, starring in mainly protagonist roles in the 60s all the way to the 80s. But while this star-studded actor enjoys the fame he attracts, he also has a particular taste in collecting good-looking cars. So let's shine a light on a collection that's only suited for a decorated actor like Clint Eastwood. We're starting off with a sleek-looking Ferrari 308 GTB from 1978. While the 308 GTB was mainly manufactured and sold in Italy, collectors still seek it out all over the world because it has an iconic Ferrari look, including pop-up headlights, a classic red color, and dual round rear lights. But what truly set the Ferrari 308 GTB apart was the fact that although Carrozzeria Scaglietti was still building it, its body was entirely made of glass-reinforced plastic. This meant the entire car weighed about 2,300 pounds. It was super lightweight and super fast, and it wasn't until 1977 that Ferrari switched to steel bodies entirely. Under the hood, there's a turbocharged 2-liter engine with enough roar to make anybody nod in approval. Next up is one of Eastwood's childhood dreams, a 1932 Ford Roadster. Even though the actor grew up in a posh area of California, he didn't really nerd his way through school. Young Eastwood would rather have been found going to jazz clubs, going out with friends, and experiencing the world around him as it was. He didn't have much luck with jobs early on either. Doing odd jobs as a lifeguard and a golf caddy was how the guy made ends meet. Eastwood spent his younger years adoring the Ford Roadster, but it was going to be a while till he got the money to buy it. And when the man rose to stardom, he made sure to tick one of his childhood aspirations off the box first. The 32 Roadster is an extremely popular item with hot rodders to this day, so it makes sense that a guy like Clint Eastwood snagged one when he had the chance. But that wasn't the only 30s car Eastwood had his eyes on. But before we roll into the next exciting 30s car in Clint Eastwood's collection, if you like our content, I would like to ask you to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on that notification bell, as we have an incredible amount of luxurious collections that you won't want to miss. The Lincoln K-Series convertible is another fantastic addition to a lineup that only keeps on impressing. The backstory for this car goes back to 1982 when Eastwood was playing a Depression-era country and western singer in the movie Honky Tonk Man. His character suffers from tuberculosis, but just to experience the joy of life one last time, he goes on a road trip with his nephew in a 1937 Lincoln Model K convertible, which is, surprise surprise, the same car Mr. Eastwood ended up buying. And even if this car looks inclined toward luxury, a 6.8-liter V12 could pleasantly surprise you. It's a timeless classic, and one that was made only for those with exquisite taste, much like our star-studded actor here. Let's keep chugging forward with the Austin Healey 100M. The Healey made its big debut at the 1952 Motor Show, and then went on to showcase its engineering at the 24-hour Le Mans a year later. After the car's massive success in the span of a couple years, it went on to achieve cult status, so much so that Donald Healey put a 100 next to the car's name to signify its top speed. Now, 100 doesn't sound like a lot now, but consider the 50s when cars were only playing around with the element of speed. Also, a high-performance version of the same car was introduced in 1955, just to sprinkle a little extra cheese on an already successful model. This newer, more improved variant was called the Austin Healey 100M and had stiffer suspension, pumped out 110 bhp, and was owned by both Steve McQueen and Clint Eastwood, two legends in their own right. Next, the Cadillac El Dorado Series 62 convertible from 1955 was perhaps Eastwood's first family car, which he bought 2 years after getting married to Maggie Johnson in 1953. And there's honestly a lot to love about the El Dorado, with its 270 horsepower engine, elegant tail fins, and price tag of over $6,000. Not many cars back then came to rival the sheer beauty and comfort of a Cadillac, and it's probably for that reason Eastwood chose this car to be his post-marriage carriage. The actor definitely shares some fond memories with the car, because 34 years after purchasing the El Dorado, he starred in Pink Cadillac, an action comedy about a bounty hunter and a group of neo-Nazis looking for an innocent woman. The movie didn't do too well, but the appreciation for Cadillacs holds strong. Moving on to a wildcard on this list is the Morris Mini Countryman, or Cooper S. Fun fact for you, this is another car purchased by both Steve McQueen and Clint Eastwood. In 1966, John Cooper, co-founder of the Cooper Car Company, sprinkled some of the same magic that he'd used on his rally-winning supercar, the Mini Cooper S, onto the Countryman. And what do you know? The same ingenuity worked again on this Mini Traveler. With its 2 doors on either side and barn doors on the back, this machine became a cult classic for many. It's like a station wagon, but in an extra small size. Only 6 of these were ever made, but they were an instant collector's item. Eastwood decided to paint his a British racing green color. Another Ferrari in Clint's inventory, and one from the same vein as the 308 GTB, is its predecessor, the Ferrari 275 GTB. This one popped up 12 years before the 308, but no way is it lacking in looks or performance. The story goes that in 1966, following the success of Sergio Leone's A Fistful of Dollars, and for a few dollars more, Mr. Eastwood was begged to appear in the final part of the Dollars trilogy, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Eastwood didn't really feel up to it. Then, the producers tried to bait him with a higher salary. Still no dice. And that's when the Italians decided to get crafty. They offered Mr. Eastwood a brand new Ferrari 275 GTB if he jumped into their film, and boy did he do it. Mr. Eastwood's 275 GTB was originally gunmetal gray, but it would soon be taken to the custom king George Barris for a makeover. By the way, this happened 10 years after he owned this wonderful piece of Italian technology. Next up is a Pontiac Special, the 1977 Trans Am. In 1974, Eastwood appeared alongside Jeff Bridges in the road movie Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. In this comedy drama, Bridges is Thunderbolt, a drifter who steals cars, alongside Eastwood's legendary thief Lightfoot, and together they rob banks and get into high-speed adventures. We're telling you all of this because the white Pontiac Trans Am 455 that makes an appearance in the film was actually Eastwood's, and rumor has it he's still got that one stashed away somewhere in his garage. The special model we're talking about came with a Firebird decal on the hood, and under the hood, it was packed with a 6.6-liter engine capable of spitting out 300 bhp. Perfect for getting some natural roars and revs in a Clint Eastwood movie. But Mr. Eastwood isn't all about sports cars. His 1992 GMC Typhoon is proof of that. The guy bought this one after hitting retirement age, so it makes sense that he'd want something that is sturdy and handles well to take him around town. The news popped out on one of Jimmy Fallon's The Tonight Shows when Eastwood was asked what car he drives, and after a faint smile, he told the audience about his Typhoon. This nearly 4,000-pound behemoth came out in 1992, and is considered a high-performance SUV courtesy of the 4.3-liter V6 engine. It may look bulky, but the GMC Typhoon has the ability to go from 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds. Only 4,697 of these bad boys were ever made, one of which rests in Eastwood's garage. There's also a rare car in this list that we still haven't brought ourselves to believe, but Clint Eastwood does have a rather cute, all-electric Fiat 500e in his collection. Perhaps just to prove he's a modern man and to keep up with society, Eastwood went ahead and got himself this 2-door car. It's such a shock knowing someone who has roadsters and classic Ferraris would fancy a googly-eyed Fiat as well. But if Dirty Harry bought it to add his contribution to an eco-friendly future, we're all up for it. And since we're talking about it, let's have a look at the specs sheet, shall we? It can charge up to 40 miles in 5 minutes for a total range of 162 miles. The interior is pretty techy too, with a 10.25-inch infotainment screen, adaptive cruise control, lane centering, and emergency call. Everything Mr. Eastwood needs to have a smooth ride to the grocery store and back. Now we're all done with the ultra-modern vanilla stuff. Let's head back to the grunge classics with the third and final Ferrari. The 365 GT4 Berlinetta Boxer. Clint bought this one with a well-deserved taste for Ferraris. I mean, who wouldn't love to stack up on these Italian beauties, right? As the first 12-cylinder Ferrari with a mid-mounted engine, the Pininfarina design was based on the original Dino and marked a new era for the Italians. Clint loved most of it too, and what he didn't, he got chopped off. Of course, I mean the roof. There's also a 1972 Ford Gran Torino Sport beefing up his garage, and like any classic American muscle, this one has looks that could put any modern-day car to shame. The city of Turin inspired the name Torino for the car. Eastwood starred in and directed Gran Torino, a movie about a racist white guy with a story centered around rivalry and redemption. This car took up a big chunk of the scenes in the movie, enough for it to be called a supporting character. And it so happens that before filming started on Gran Torino, Eastwood's production company sourced it through a classic car dealer on eBay, and Warner Bros. Bought it and had it tidied up for its role. When the film wrapped, Eastwood bought it and added it to his collection. Well, that's a wrap for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and subscribe to stay updated on more luxury collections. Also, let us know what you think of this collection in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.